Welcome to Senior Wellness. What if I told you that living to 100 isn't about luck? It's not about some magic gene or a secret serum that keeps you healthy. No, the truth is much simpler. It's all about choices. The small, seemingly insignificant decisions you make every single day. These choices either build a long, joyful life, or they slowly, quietly dismantle it. And you hold the power to make those choices. So, let me ask you something. Do you want to live to 100? But here's the catch, do you want to live well to 100? Imagine this, not just living to 100, but doing it with your mind sharp, your body strong, and your heart still filled with joy. The freedom to travel, to dance, to learn, to love long after your peers have retired or slowed down. Does that sound like a dream? It's not. It's a possibility that's within your reach. But here's the shocking part. Most people will never get there. And no, it's not because they don't want to. They fail because they fall into three simple but devastating traps. Traps that, one by one, chip away at their health, their finances, and their relationships. The worst part? They don't even realize it until it's too late. In this video, I'm going to expose those traps. You'll learn the most common mistakes people make as they age, and more importantly, I am going to show you, step by step, how to avoid them. We're diving into how your health, wealth, and social connections all play a critical role in living a fulfilling life into your golden years. So buckle up, because this isn't your average video about aging. It's your roadmap to thriving at 100. And we're starting with the most important foundation of all, your health. The health trap, why most people start falling long before they notice. It's easy to think of aging as something that happens in your 70s or 80s, a slow decline that sneaks up on you in your later years. But in reality, the path to poor health, or thriving health, starts much earlier. I often say that aging doesn't begin at 70. It begins at 40. And the choices you make in those decades in between can mean the difference between walking into your 100s with energy or struggling to get out of bed at 75. Let me tell you about one of my longtime patients, Ellen. Ellen was 56 when I first met her. She was bright, full of life, and always too busy to see the doctor. She ate fast food on the go, worked 10-hour days at her desk, and told me she didn't have time to exercise. She felt fine, she said, so what was the worry? Then at 64, she collapsed while walking to her car. A routine stress test revealed serious heart disease. She hadn't felt the damage being done day after day, but her body had been keeping score. Mistake 1, skipping preventive care. Annual checkups aren't just another item on your to-do list. They're your first line of defense. A single blood test, a scan, or a blood pressure reading can reveal what's happening beneath the surface before you feel any symptoms. I had a patient named Carl who hadn't seen a doctor in years. When he finally came in with fatigue, we found advanced prostate cancer. Had he come in just 1 year earlier, his prognosis would have been dramatically different. Don't wait until something breaks. Maintenance is always cheaper than repair. Mistake 2, ignoring exercise. Your muscles, bones, and joints were designed for movement. Without it, they begin to break down. Sedentary lifestyles have become a hidden epidemic, especially among people in their 50s and 60s who assume they're too busy to work out. Exercise doesn't have to be extreme. It just has to be consistent. One of my patients, Jerome, age 78, started walking 30 minutes a day at age 60 after a minor stroke. Today, he's healthier than many people 20 years younger. He says that walks saved his life, not because it was difficult, but because he stuck with it. Mistake 3, poor nutrition. Let's face it, the modern diet is working against us. Fast food, processed snacks, sugar-loaded drinks, it's all convenient, and it's all toxic in the long term. Your body is built cell by cell from what you eat. If you're feeding it junk, you're building a weaker version of yourself. But when you eat whole, unprocessed foods, you're giving your body the tools it needs to repair, defend, and thrive. I once worked with a retired teacher named Linda who had been living on frozen meals and diet sodas. She suffered from joint pain, low energy, and mood swings. We changed just 2 meals a day to whole foods, added more fiber, and within 3 months, her pain reduced, her energy increased, and her blood pressure normalized. Nutrition is powerful medicine if you use it daily. Mistake 4, dismissing sleep. Sleep isn't downtime. It's when your body resets and heals. Without adequate sleep, your immune system weakens, your memory fades, and your risk of chronic disease climbs. Most adults need 7 to 9 hours of restful sleep. And no, 5 hours with coffee in the morning is not a sustainable strategy. One patient, Dennis, had been surviving on 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night for years. He was sharp in meetings, but increasingly forgetful at home. A sleep study showed chronic sleep apnea. With proper treatment and better sleep habits, not only did his energy return, his blood sugar and blood pressure dropped significantly. Never underestimate the power of a good night's sleep. Mistake 5. Neglecting mental health. Stress doesn't just make you grumpy. It makes you sick. Long-term stress floods the body with cortisol, weakens the immune system, and creates inflammation that leads to everything from arthritis to cancer. But there's more. Mental health isn't just about avoiding depression. It's about having purpose, joy, and connection in your life. Take Rebecca, who cared for her ailing mother for over a decade. When her mother passed, she spiraled into loneliness and fatigue. It wasn't until she joined a local gardening club that she began to heal, mentally and physically. The conversations, the fresh air, the shared purpose, it brought her back to life. Mental health isn't a luxury. It's the glue that holds all other aspects of health together. Health is not something that magically disappears at 75. It's something we neglect at 45, ignore at 55, and regret at 65. But the beauty of it all? It's never too late to begin again. Every meal, every walk, every doctor's visit, every moment of peace you carve out for yourself. They are investments in the version of you that wakes up at 100 and smiles, because you didn't just live long, you lived well. The retirement illusion, why most people regret waiting too long. For many people, retirement feels like a faraway dream, a distant chapter that only becomes real when the countdown clock hits 0. But here's the truth I've seen time and again in my years working with older adults. The comfort and peace of your retirement years are built, not when you retire, but decades earlier. The greatest regret I hear isn't about working too long or spending too much. It's this: I wish I had started planning sooner. Let me introduce you to Mark and Susan. They were both teachers, retired at 65, and seemed to have done everything right. But while Susan began saving in her 30s, Mark didn't think much about retirement until he turned 55. Now in their 70s, Susan travels frequently, volunteers, and lives stress-free. Mark, on the other hand, worries every month about whether his savings will last. Same careers, same salaries, but very different outcomes, all because of when they started. Mistake 1. Waiting to save. Time is the most powerful asset in retirement planning. Even a modest amount saved in your 30s or 40s can grow into a solid nest egg by 65. But wait until your 50s, and you'll find yourself chasing time instead of letting it work for you. One couple I counseled started saving $100 a month at age 30. By the time they retired, they had over $200,000. Another couple began at 55 with double the monthly savings, but never caught up. Saving early isn't about having lots of money. It's about giving your money time to grow. Mistake 2. Underestimating the cost of retirement. Many people assume they'll spend less in retirement. But in reality, expenses don't drop, they shift. You may stop commuting, but you start traveling. You may not buy work clothes, but you may need medications or home care. Healthcare costs alone can be staggering. One of my patients, an otherwise healthy 75-year-old named Harold, was shocked to discover his insurance only partially covered his long-term physical therapy. Over 5 years, it drained a large chunk of his savings. Plan for more than you think you'll need. And always include health expenses in your retirement math. Mistake 3. Failing to diversify. I've seen retirees lose everything by putting their faith in one stock or one business idea. The economy changes. Markets crash. Even the most promising investments can fail. Diversification is your safety net. Spread your investments across different assets, stocks, bonds, savings, real estate. That way, one bad year won't destroy your entire future. A patient of mine, Elena, invested only in her brother's business. It folded in a recession, and she had to return to part-time work at 72. She said, "I didn't just lose money. I lost peace of mind." Mistake 4. Not reviewing your plan. Life isn't static, and your financial strategy shouldn't be either. Marriage, children, divorce, medical issues, housing changes, all these require rethinking your retirement approach. I recommend reviewing your retirement plan at least once a year. Check in with a trusted advisor. Ask hard questions. Adjust your goals. It's not about obsessing. It's about staying prepared. Mistake 5. Forgetting that health affects wealth. Let me be blunt. Bad health is expensive. If you ignore your well-being now, you might spend your retirement funds not on travel or hobbies, but on medications, treatments, and hospital bills. One patient, Bernice, had planned to visit her grandkids overseas every year. But due to unmanaged diabetes, her retirement has become a cycle of doctor visits and dialysis. Investing in your health today is a financial strategy. It protects your body and your bank account. In the end, retirement isn't about an age or a dollar amount. It's about freedom, freedom from worry, from debt, and from regret. And that freedom is only possible when you start planning now. The question isn't will you retire? You will. The real question is, will you be ready when you do? The social connection gap, the loneliest mistake you can make. If you want to live well to 100, you have to understand one essential truth. Humans are not meant to age alone. We are social beings, wired for connection. And yet, one of the most heartbreaking things I see as a physician is how many older adults suffer not from illness, but from isolation. It's a quiet epidemic. And it's just as dangerous as smoking or obesity. Let me tell you about George. George was 82, lived alone after his wife passed away, and rarely left the house. He had no major medical conditions, but he came to see me complaining of fatigue, brain fog, and low mood. What he really needed wasn't a new medication. He needed connection. We helped him get involved in a local men's walking group. Within weeks, his mood improved. Within months, he looked years younger. Loneliness isn't just sad. It's toxic. It increases the risk of heart disease, stroke, dementia, and depression. In fact, recent research shows that prolonged isolation has the same health impact as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Mistake 1. Letting relationships fade. After retirement, it's easy to drift. You lose the daily rhythm of work, your kids are grown, friends move away. Without effort, your social world shrinks. But connection doesn't have to be complicated. It's about staying in touch with the people who matter. Call your friends. Visit your neighbors. Make regular plans, even if it's just for coffee. One patient, Maria, told me she hadn't spoken to her childhood best friend in over 15 years. I encouraged her to reach out. That phone call turned into a reunion, and then into a weekly tradition. Their friendship became the highlight of her week, and her health improved along with it. Mistake 2. Replacing people with screens. Technology is a gift, but it's also a trap. Too many older adults substitute real human connection with endless hours of television or passive scrolling. Watching TV might fill the silence, but it doesn't fill the soul. Video calls, phone chats, in-person visits, these are what truly nourish us. I once worked with a woman named Esther who spent 8 hours a day watching soap operas. She said it helped her feel less alone. But once she joined a local community choir, everything changed. Singing with others gave her purpose and joy that no screen ever could. Mistake 3. Thinking it's too late. Perhaps the most damaging belief I hear from patients is this: I'm too old to make new friends. Nonsense. Some of the strongest relationships I've seen were formed in retirement communities, book clubs, church groups, or even gardening classes. When you share space, stories, and purpose with others, age disappears. What remains is connection. Take Thomas, who moved into assisted living at 89. He was convinced he'd never bond with anyone again. But 3 months later, he was playing cards every evening with a group of men who became his second family. Connection is the medicine no pill can replace. Social engagement improves memory. It reduces stress. It strengthens immunity. It adds color and meaning to your days. So, protect your social life the way you protect your savings. Schedule time with people. Join something. Say yes to invitations. Reach out before you feel lonely. Because at the end of the day, the quality of your life is not measured just by how long you live, but by who you share those years with. The triangle of thriving at 100. Health, wealth, and connection are presented as interconnected pillars, creating a triangle of success for long-term well-being. Health is essential because without physical vitality, enjoying life at any age becomes a challenge. Wealth is not just about money. It's about financial stability that ensures you can live comfortably and afford the healthcare, lifestyle, and experiences you desire in later years. Connection refers to the people around you, your social life, and maintaining relationships that provide emotional support, prevent loneliness, and contribute to overall happiness. The message is clear. Neglecting any one of these areas will impact the others. For example, if you neglect your health, your finances may go toward medical bills instead of experiences. If you neglect your finances, you may become financially dependent, impacting your health and mental well-being. If you neglect social connections, you may feel isolated, leading to depression and a lack of purpose, which affects both health and wealth. Key insight: a holistic approach to life, where all three areas are maintained and nurtured, is the key to not only reaching 100, but enjoying the journey there. What you can do starting today. This part emphasizes simple, actionable steps that people can take immediately. Each of these actions is a building block for a better future, and they are easy to implement. Schedule your next health checkup. This is the most proactive and preventive action you can take to detect potential health issues early and stay on top of any changes. Regular checkups catch problems before they become severe. Take a 30-minute walk before or after dinner. Exercise doesn't need to be complicated or time-consuming. A 30-minute walk after meals not only helps maintain weight, but also improves digestion, boosts mood, and strengthens cardiovascular health. This action can be easily incorporated into daily life. Cook one healthy meal at home this week. Nutrition is key to long-term health. Cooking at home allows control over what you're eating and fosters healthier eating habits. It can start with something as simple as cooking a balanced dinner. Call a friend you haven't spoken to in years. Reconnecting with someone you care about isn't just good for your mental health, but also for maintaining strong, meaningful relationships. Social connections have been shown to reduce stress, improve mood, and even increase longevity. Open a savings account or review your retirement plan. Financial health is as important as physical health. Starting small today can make a big difference in the long run. Reviewing or initiating retirement savings is an essential step in ensuring you have financial security for the future. The power of small actions. The content also emphasizes that small actions, though they may seem simple or insignificant at the time, are the building blocks that create lasting change. These habits may seem small, but they add up over time. The consistency of making these small adjustments to your routine can create profound long-term benefits, leading to better health, financial security, and stronger relationships. Living to 100 is no longer a dream. It is within your reach, a reality that more and more people are experiencing. But here's the real question we must ask. What will those extra years look like? Will you be filled with energy, laughter, and the freedom to explore life? Or will you find yourself fighting against chronic illness, regret, and limitations that come from years of neglecting your health and well-being? The difference between those two paths? It's not luck. It's the choices you make today. You hold the power to shape your future every single day. The decisions you make now, the small actions you take consistently, will create the foundation for the vibrant, fulfilling life you deserve. It's not just about reaching 100. It's about thriving as you get there. At Senior Wellness, we believe that your golden years can truly be your best years. But they won't be unless you prepare, plan, and prioritize what matters most. Health isn't something you wait for when you hit 70. It's something you cultivate, starting in your 40s, 50s, and 60s. And it's never too late to start. Here's the bottom line. Your future self is waiting for you to take action, and they will be so grateful you did. So, I want you to take a moment right now and ask yourself, what can I do today that will make tomorrow better? Start small. Start today. It's as simple as taking that 30-minute walk, scheduling that checkup, or picking up the phone to call an old friend. These seemingly small steps are the bricks that will build the life you desire. Don't wait. Make today the day you take action for your future. Remember, the journey to 100 doesn't have to be a long, daunting road. With the right mindset and the right actions, it can be an adventure, one filled with vitality, purpose, and joy. Take action now. Invest in your health, your relationships, and your future. Your 100-year-old self will thank you.